It's time to release the Kraken. Hey everyone, it's Matthew Reinhart. It's another Mythical Beings pop-up. Okay, so this is part of a whole series, and this is the Mighty Kraken. Now, this was inspired by a series of books that I did called Encyclopedia Mythologica. One was about gods and heroes. Look at that. Ooh, look at that. That's Osiris right there. And look at this. This is a pop-up of, oh my gosh, it's Mount Olympus with all the Greek gods. Anyways, this series of books I did, and they're about gods and heroes. There's one about mythical creatures and fairies and magical creatures, and there's also one about dragons and monsters. And this whole series is inspired by that of mythical beings. And when you build all of the pops, you can put them together into a giant pop-up cube. Look at that. It's so cool. All right, let's make our Kraken. I thought we'd include at least one or two monsters with our mythical beings. Here it is, the Kraken, and it's a big old tentacled monster from underwater. And what you're going to do is you're going to download the templates at the link down below. You download them, print them onto cardstock, any color you like. And then what we're going to do first is we're going to score all the dotted black lines. So we're going to see where all those dotted black lines are. And we're going to use a ruler, we're going to use a paper clip, and we're going to press a little with the edge of that paper clip along each one of those dotted lines. And you know, you guys have all done this with me. You know what this does, right? What's it do? I know what it does. It makes it fold easier. Yep, that's right. That's right, little Jimmy. Oh, gosh, you're so good at making pop-ups. Well, that's what. At every one of these dotted lines, what we're doing is we're scoring it, and it's kind of pressing the paper a little, and it makes it easier to fold along all those dotted lines. Now, we could do it without scoring it, but it would be, you know, sometimes when you try to fold stuff like that without scoring it, it's sort of, you know, the line doesn't bend right. And this really helps it fold exactly on those dotted lines. And we need the pop-up to fold in the right place for it to work right? So, little Jimmy, yeah, this is really great. You taught us so much, Mr. Reinhart. Oh, you don't have to call me Mr. Reinhart. You can call me Matthew. Oh, okay, Matthew. You have bad breath. Oh, get out of here. All right, next, going to cut out all the pieces with a pair of scissors. Get a pair of scissors that you like. Get a pair of scissors that are comfortable to you, that are good for your hands. I actually have a couple pair of scissors. I have one. Well, I have a lot of scissors, but I have a pair of bigger scissors that I use, and I also use a pair of smaller scissors to get into all the little curvy areas. But you know, when you're cutting, make sure you move the paper rather than moving your hand, and the scissors is much more comfortable. So we're going to cut out all these pieces. And let's see, how many pieces are there? There sure are a lot. 1, 2, 3, and then there's base page 4. And let's see what else. 5, 6. Ooh, there's a lot of pieces for this. So we cut out, take your time cutting out all the pieces. Look at those eyeballs. Look at that. Ooh, he's going to be a creepy looking Kraken, I'll tell you that. For all the Krakens that were promised to be released in the last year or so, this is the coolest one. Does anyone remember where that came from? It came from this movie called The Clash of the Titans, and there was a Kraken at the end of that, and it was just the most amazing looking creature. And I just love release the Kraken. You know, that was the big line from the movie, and it was so cool. And it actually was kind of a stinky movie, but I used to watch it all the time as a kid on HBO. We used to watch it. It was on I swear it was almost every day. Okay, so when we finish cutting out all the pieces, we're gonna pre-fold. And because we scored everything, it's gonna be super easy to pre-fold all these pieces. So we're gonna fold this face piece, right, like that. And this just tells our paper where to go, which way it needs to go. See, that's super easy. Now let's get onto this piece. We're gonna pre-fold this piece here, fold it right down the center. And then we're going to fold these two tabs up top, out ahead. And now the Kraken, you know, it's been a lot of different things in myth. And oftentimes, I think in Norse myth that they said it was more like a tentacled, sort of giant squid or giant octopus monster, which is my favorite version of the Kraken, rather than it being some other sort of sea monster. It's a little based in reality, right? Because there are giant squids. I can imagine some Vikings seeing one of those giant squids and be like, that's a big monster. And yeah, so although I don't know if Vikings were real scared of much. They weren't scared of much. They were some pretty tough cookies, I'll tell you. All right, so we're going to fold these tabs just like this. And we may change the direction of the tab later on. But okay, so this one kind of glues on itself, so it folds like that. We're going to fold this other one on the other side, just like that. We're going to fold the other one on the other side. All right, now that we finished folding everything, let's get started. Let's decorate this pop-up, because this one you're going to need to decorate before you assemble it, all right? So we're going to use markers or crayons or anything you like to color in all the pieces. Sometimes we have to color things in first before we actually do the assembling. All right, now we're going to use some craft glue. You can use any color you like if you want. Use some of the different colored glue, but we're going to just use white craft glue. All right, so these tabs here are going to glue onto themselves onto this piece. Now watch. So there's A, and we're just going to put a little glue onto the gray area. See, it glues over just into that little semicircle, right? And now these are V folds that that we're making on this piece, just like that. Alrighty. Now, let's glue these pieces here, C and D. They glue into the base page. And you're going to make sure that that center piece is lined up, that piece that we're putting on there. See the center fold? Let's make sure that that's lined up with the center of our base page. And it glues pretty flat right down onto the page. Just like that. Would you look at that? Perfection. All right then, let's glue the next piece. Now remember that piece that we just glued to itself and with those two V folds? We're going to glue those two tabs down right there and there. So we're going to put some glue on the base page just in those little areas. Make sure not to mess up your beautiful art if you've already made your art. You know, I just realized with this one, you don't have to make the art first. You can do it later on, but for this one, it was a little easier to color it first. Okay, so now we glued that piece just in place. And look, that one's lined up along the center as well. Look at that. All righty. Next. Look at this piece here. Oh, let's glue this and this tab right here and right here. So we're going to, and you're going to see those shapes. See where the eyes are, that area? Those shapes are going to glue on top of this sort of mouth-looking piece, right? It's going to glue right there. And look at how the beak is sort of along the middle is lined up. There we go with the center. See it? And they should fit. Those tabs should, both those tabs should glue right into place. And you're going to see the beak sticks out a bit. It stands up a bit. That's what's called a tented V-fold right there. All right, so let's glue the head on. We're going to put glue on these two trapezoidal tabs. Okay, so see how they're kind of free? They're actually going to glue underneath the head right here. And you see where that fold, see they line up just like that along the center. All right, so there's the little head piece. And see, you can tell by folding down the tab, and you can glue it into place just like that. Glues underneath this face piece, just like that. See how those go under there? That glues underneath there. Should glue pretty flat, except for the beak. The beak does not go flat. Alrighty. Next, we're going to pinch it, make sure it's in place, because we need to make sure that head. So and now those two tabs are going to glue to the top of the head, that little pointy part of the head, because those Kraken, like squid things, always have those big pointy heads. So they can get through the water really fast. So we're going to glue those tabs just like that, and it should all be lined up with the center fold of the base page. Just in place like that. All right. Now we've got the head glued on. Now we're going to glue these tentacles in place. And see, they're going to glue. We're going to have to look under here. Now see that upper sort of wedge? It glues right there. So we're just going to put glue on that upper part of the wedge, the upper part of fold. You can sort of see just in that area. And then we're just going to glue it down, press it down, and press it into place. You got to hold it in place. Make sure it stays in place. So it's just going to be on the upper part of that wedge so that it can move, not on the lower part of the wedge. And see, we're going to do the same. See how there are two wedges? Just the upper wedge. We're just going to put glue on that upper part. And now let's glue this one in place going over here on this side. Make sure that you don't put the edge of those tentacle pieces over a fold. See how it goes just like that? Let's look on the other side, just like that. All right, now let's see how he folds. Look at that. Oh my God. Look at how his tentacles come down. So this is a V-fold riser that makes the head and the face. There's a tented V-fold for the beak. And then those are V-folds. They're swinging those tentacles down. Look at that. Holy moly. That's one Kraken. We let loose the Kraken, all right. Look at that. Oh my gosh. It's so super cool. Hey everybody, if you enjoyed making this Kraken pop-up, be sure to hit like and subscribe down below. We're going to put these all together into a giant pop-up cube. This is Matthew Reinhart saying, keep on popping, and I'll see you next time.